Hello, and welcome to Story Time. I sure hope this is working. Right now, it's using a good microphone, this one, and it says that it's picking up audio. It says it is. I'm just going to have to trust it for now until someone comments to let me know if it's picking up audio or not. So there's that. Either way, it's about time I got out some spooky music, isn't it? After all, tonight we are resuming with Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask. Ooh, a video about Irish people trying Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I should probably not watch that later, even though it sounds like it could be fun to watch. Either way, it's about time we get started. And look at that. I got a notification from Amber saying, yes, she can hear. Thank you, Amber, for your help. That's good to know that the audio is working and that you can hear. So let's pick out the spooky music. And while I do, yes, Facebook. Find me on there if you like, Brett Picorni. Easy enough to find. Then there's also Storytime, the group on Facebook. It's 2 words, exclamation point at the end. Join it if you'd like updates on Storytime and what's happening, even though I haven't done that in a long time. Either way, next up, YouTube. Oh, there it is. There's that spooky background music, dark ambience. Yes. And yes, I agree. Huzzah! More Goosebumps. Turn that down a little bit. Anyway, yes. B Picorni1 on YouTube. Make sure you like this video. Hit subscribe, share it with your friends, and leave plenty of comments. I want to see them. I want to hear them. I want to experience them. I want to know what you have to say. And I want to interact with you. Isn't that scariest of all? Anyway, finally, Twitch. Brett Doesn't Game. All one freaking word. That's it. One word. John is excited too. Glad to hear it. I'll read a few chapters tonight of Goosebumps. I'm going to leave the lights on, though, not because I don't like having the ambiance, but because it's harder to read without the lights. I hope you understand. I quite frankly love reading in the dark with the candles, but I can't quite read the book here too well without chance in burning it, so there's that. Anyway, shall we? Hello, Mumsy, you have joined as well. Huzzah! So here we go. Carly Beth screamed and knocked over the solar system. She kicked her leg wildly, trying to toss off the tarantula. Ping-pong ball planets bounced all over the floor. You prefer the lights on? Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. All over the floor. Oh, no. She screamed again. Get it off me! Get it off! Carly Beth, stop, Sabrina pleaded. You're okay, you're okay. It took Carly Beth a long while to realize that everyone was laughing. Her heart pounding, she spun around to find Steve down on his hands and knees behind her. He made a pinching motion with his thumb and finger. Gotcha again, he said, grinning up at her. No, Carly Beth cried. There was no tarantula, she realized. Steve had pinched her leg. That bastard. She raised her head and saw that kids all over the stage were laughing. Mrs. Armbruster and Mr. Smythe were laughing too. Those bastards! You're the teachers. Come on now. With a cry of anger, Carly Beth tried to kick Steve in the side, but he spun away. She missed. Help me pick up the planets, she heard Sabrina say, but Sabrina seemed far, far away. All Carly Beth could hear was the pounding of her heart and the laughter of the kids all around her. Steve had climbed to his feet. He and Chuck were side by side, grinning at her, slapping each other high fives. Carly Beth, help me, Sabrina pleaded, but Carly Beth spun away, jumped off the stage, and ran, escaping up the dark auditorium aisle. I'm going to pay Steve and Chuck back, she vowed angrily, her sneakers thudding loudly up the concrete aisle. I'm going to scare them, really scare them. But how? Chapter 6. Okay, what time should I meet you? Carly Beth asked, cradling the phone between her chin and shoulder. On the other end of the line, Sabrina considered for a moment. How about 7:30? It was Halloween. The plan was to meet at Sabrina's house, then go trick-or-treating through the entire neighborhood. The earlier the better. We'll get more candy, Sabrina said. Did Steve call you? Yeah, he called, Carly Beth replied bitterly. Did he apologize? Yeah, he apologized, Carly Beth muttered, rolling her eyes. Big deal. I mean, he already made me look like a jerk in front of the entire school. What good is an apology? I think he felt bad, Sabrina replied. I hope he felt bad, Carly Beth exclaimed. It was so mean. It was a dirty trick, Sabrina agreed. And then she added, but you'll have to admit it was kind of funny. I don't have to admit anything, Carly Beth snapped. Has it stopped raining? Sabrina asked, changing the subject. Carly Beth pulled down the curtain to glance out her bedroom window. The evening sky was charcoal grey. Dark clouds hovered low, but the rain had stopped. The street glistened wetly under the light of a street lamp. No rain. I've got to go. See you at 7:30, Carly Beth said, speaking rapidly. Hey, wait, what's your costume? Sabrina demanded. It's a surprise, Carly Beth told her, and hung up. It'll be a surprise to me, too, she told herself, glancing unhappily at the feathery duck costume rolled up on the chair in the corner. Carly Beth's plan had been to go to the new party store after school and pick out the ugliest, most disgusting, scariest mask they had. But her mother had picked her up after school and insisted that she stay home and watch Noah for a couple of hours. Mrs. Caldwell hadn't returned home until 5:15. Now it was nearly 6:15. There was no way the party store would still be open, Carly Beth thought, frowning at the duck costume. Quack, quack, she said miserably. She walked to the mirror and ran a hairbrush through her hair. Maybe it was worth a try, she thought. Maybe that store stays open late on Halloween. She pulled open her top dresser drawer and took out her wallet. Did she have enough money for a good scary mask? $30, her life savings. She wadded up the bills and stuffed them back into the wallet. Then, jamming the wallet into her jeans pocket, she grabbed her coat and hurried downstairs and out the front door. The evening air was cold and damp. Carly Beth struggled to zip her coat as she jogged toward the party store. The house next door had a glowing jack-o'-lantern in the front window. The house on the corner had paper skeletons strung up across the front porch. The wind howled through the bare trees. The branches above her head shook and rattled like bony arms. What a creepy night, Carly Beth thought. She started running a little faster. A car rolled silently by, sending harsh white light floating across the sidewalk like a bright ghost. Glancing across the street, Carly Beth saw the old carpenter mansion looming over its dark weed-choked lawn. Everyone said the ramshackle old house was haunted by people who had been murdered inside it 100 years ago. Once Carly Beth had heard frightening howls coming from the old mansion. When she was Noah's age, Steve and Chuck and some other kids had dared each other to go up to the house and knock on the door. Carly Beth had run home instead. She never did find out if the other kids were brave enough to do it. Now Carly Beth felt a chill of fear as she hurried past the old house. She knew this neighborhood really well. She had lived in it her entire life. But tonight it looked different to her. Was it just the wet glow left by the rain? No, it was a heavy feeling in the air, a heavier darkness, the eerie orange glow of grinning pumpkins in windows, the silent cries of ghouls and monsters waiting to float free on their night to celebrate Halloween. Trying to force all the scary thoughts from her mind, Carly Beth turned the corner. The little party store came into view. The window was lighted, revealing 2 rows of Halloween masks staring out at the street. But was the store still open? Crossing her fingers, Carly Beth waited for a truck to rumble past, then eagerly jogged across the street. She stopped for a second to examine the masks in the window. There were gorilla masks, monster masks, some sort of blue-haired alien mask. Pretty good, she thought. Those are pretty ugly, but they probably have even scarier ones inside. The lights were on in the store. She peered through the glass door, then she tried turning the knob. It didn't move. She tried again. She tried pulling the door open, but then she tried pushing. No way. She was too late. The store was closed. I will read Another chapter for you tonight. Perhaps 2. What do you think? 2 more chapters, would that be good? I think that would be good. Let's do it. Carly Beth sighed and peered in through the glass. The walls of the tiny store were covered with masks. The masks seemed to stare back at her. They're laughing at me, she thought unhappily. Laughing at me because I'm too late, because the store is closed and I'm going to have to be a stupid duck for Halloween. Suddenly a dark shadow moved over the glass, blocking Carly Beth's view. She gasped and took a step back. It took her a moment to realize that the shadow was a man in a black suit staring out at her, a look of surprise on his face. Are you closed? Carly Beth shouted through the glass. The man gestured that he couldn't hear her. He turned the lock and pulled the door open an inch. Can I help you? He asked curtly. He had shiny black hair, parted in the middle and slicked down on his head, and a pencil-thin black mustache. Are you open? Carly Beth asked timidly. I need a Halloween mask. It's very late, the man replied, not answering her question. He pulled the door open another few inches. We normally close at 5. I would really like to buy a mask, Carly Beth told him in her most determined voice. The man's tiny black eyes peered into hers. His expression remained blank. Come in, he said quietly. As Carly Beth stepped past him into the store, she saw that he wore a black cape. It must be a Halloween costume, she told herself. I'm sure he doesn't wear that all the time. She turned her attention to the masks on the 2 walls. What kind of mask are you looking for? The man asked, closing the door behind him. Carly Beth felt a stab of fear. His black eyes, glowed like 2 burning coals. He seemed so strange. And here she was, locked in this closed store with him. A scary one, she stammered. He rubbed his chin thoughtfully. He pointed to the wall. The gorilla mask has been very popular. It has real hair. I believe I may have one left in stock. Carly Beth stared up at the gorilla mask. She didn't really want to be a gorilla. It was too ordinary. It wasn't scary enough. Do you have anything scarier? She asked. He flipped his cape back over the shoulder of his black suit. How about that yellowish one with the pointy ears? He suggested, pointing. I believe it's some sort of Star Trek character. I still have a few of them, I believe. No, Carly Beth shook her head. I need something really scary. A strange smile formed on the man's thin mustache. His eyes burned into hers as if trying to read her thoughts. Look around, he said with a sweep of his hand. Everything I have left in stock is up on the walls. Carly Beth turned her gaze to the masks. A pig mask with long, ugly tusks and blood trickling from the snout caught her eye. Pretty good, she thought, but not quite right. A hairy werewolf mask with white, pointy fangs was hung beside it. Again, too ordinary, Carly Beth decided. Her eyes glanced over a green Frankenstein mask, a Freddy Krueger mask that came with Freddy's hand, complete with long silvery blades for fingers, and an E.T. mask. Just not scary enough, Carly Beth thought, starting to feel a little desperate. I need something that will really make Steve and Chuck die of fright. Young lady, I'm afraid I must ask you to make your choice, the man in the cape said softly. He had moved behind the narrow counter at the front and was turning a key in the cash register. We really are closed, after all. I'm sorry, Carly Beth started. It's just that the phone rang before she could finish explaining. The man picked it up quickly and began talking in a low voice, turning his back to Carly Beth. She wandered toward the back of the store, studying the masks as she walked. She passed a black cat mask with long, ugly yellow fangs. A vampire mask with bright red blood trickling down its lips was hung next to a grinning, bald mask of Uncle Fester from the Addams family. Not right, Carly Beth thought, frowning. She hesitated when she spotted a narrow door slightly open at the back of the store. Was there another room? Were there more masks back there? She glanced to the front. The man, hidden behind his cape, still had his back to her as he talked on the phone. Carly Beth gave the door a hesitant push to peek inside. The door creaked open. Pale orange light washed over the small, shadowy back room. Carly Beth stepped inside and gasped in amazement. 24 empty eye sockets, chapter 8, stared blindly at Carly Beth. She gaped in horror at the distorted, deformed faces. They were masks, she realized. 2 shelves of masks, but the masks were so ugly, so grotesque, so real. They made her breath catch in her throat. Carly Beth gripped the doorframe, reluctant to enter the tiny black room. It didn't really creak like that. Staring into the dim orange light, she studied the hideous masks. One mask had long, stringy yellow hair falling over its bulging green forehead. A hairy black rat's head poked up from a knot in the hair, the rat's eyes gleaming like 2 dark jewels. The mask beside it had a large nail stuck through an eye hole. Thick, wet-looking blood poured from the eye down the cheek. Chunks of rotting skin appeared to be falling off another mask, revealing grey bone underneath. An enormous black insect, some kind of grotesque beetle, poked out from between the green and yellow decayed teeth. Carly Beth's horror mixed with excitement. She took a step into the room. Step, step, step. The wooden floorboards creaked noisily beneath her. She took another step, closer to the grotesque grinning masks. They seemed so real, so horribly real. The faces had such detail. The skin appeared to be made of flesh. Real flesh, not rubber or plastic. These are perfect, she thought, the heart pounding. These are just what I was looking for. They look terrifying, just propped up on these shelves. She imagined Steve and Chuck seeing one of these masks coming at them in the dark of night. She pictured herself uttering a blood-curdling scream and leaping out from behind a tree in one of them. She imagined the horrified expressions on the boys' faces. She pictured Steve and Chuck shrieking in terror and running for their lives. Perfect. Perfect. What a laugh that would be. What a victory. Carly Beth took a deep breath and stepped up to the shelves. Her eyes settled on an ugly mask on the lower shelf. It had a bulging, bald head. Its skin was a putrid yellow-green. Its enormous sunken eyes were an eerie orange and seemed to glow. It had a broad, flat nose, smashed in like a skeleton's nose. The dark-lipped mouth gaped wide, revealing jagged animal fangs. Staring hard at the hideous mask, Carly Beth reached out a hand toward it. Reluctantly, she touched the broad forehead, and as she touched it, the mask cried out. This, I imagine, is a little bit what the mask looked like, by the way. Something like this. Ooga booga booga. Anyway, that was 4 chapters for the evening, so I do believe it's time to call it a night. We are ending at our usual start time. It's just about 10 o'clock, which means I have time to get to bed. Although I might stay up making... oh, you like the creepy noises, eh? Ah, good. I may stay up making a little bit of music, but regardless, that was Goosebumps for tonight, and I hope you enjoyed it, as I did. Yes, it was quick, but that's because it's Goosebumps, and we only read a few chapters because we want it to last. I mean, look, we're already like a third of the way through the book. Crazy, and we haven't even been reading it that long. It's because Goosebumps books are very short. So, we want them to last, so we're going to make them last, damn it. Anyway, story time on Facebook, 2 words, exclamation point at the end. Brett Pecorn is my name, and reading's my game. Well, at least at night it is. You are most certainly welcome. If you would like to find me on Facebook, feel welcome to do so. I accept most friend requests as long as they're not blatantly spam. If I have, friends in common, then I'll probably accept. So, and then there's YouTube. Yes, I did have a little taste. I really liked the spices in the peach. I think the crust was a little better on the previous one. But regardless, it was very good. Thank you very much. But moving forward, book a night with them. Yes, you could read a book a night with them, but then they wouldn't last, would they? And we want them to last. Anyway, YouTube, Beeper21, like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, or else I will burn you. I won't. You're not right here, so I can't burn you. If you were here, I probably wouldn't burn you anyway. That would be mean. But anyway, and also, share it with your friends. And please do leave as many comments as you would like. Then Twitch, Bet Doesn't Game, all one word. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely evening. And I bid you adieu. Until next time, dear friends, we will be starting back again tomorrow night with Bram Stoker's Dracula. Unless I start too late, in which case it'll probably be scary stories to tell in the dark. Anyway, good night, everyone. Ah, and I see last minute Trisha has joined us. Huzzah! Thank you for being here. All right, everyone, that is a wrap.